while. So this week's job was just to do the door seals. So it's not a 5-minute job, it does take a lot of hours to do, but it's obviously well worth it. So you can see here, this side here, I've still got to remove the tape that I added on yesterday. This side here is done. So again, what I did is basically peeled the old seals off. Mine were on very firmly, so I had to use, generally speaking, sharp blade for that, plus also a plastic scraper, being careful not to damage the outer part of the stainless steel. So remove that was fine. That then leaves you with tons and tons of residue. Certainly did on mine. Various different types of glue. I had black rubber glue, sort of like special sort of modern glue that I've been using to sort of touch up bits, and there's Evo sticks. There's a combination of everything. So again, what I used for that, I did use a combination again of this and just a blade to get rid of most of it. That was fine. And then I just went over it with this. So literally just rub the whole thing round, being careful obviously not to go onto the stainless or onto the black, to get rid of the vast majority of it. And then I just went over with just a finishing pad. I just used a green finishing pad, and then managed to get, I would say, like literally at 95% of the residue off it. I wanted to make sure that I particularly got at least a centimetre back from the stainless steel, so things like this, so then you wouldn't, so depending where the seal sat, you wouldn't see it through the gaps around here. So 100% recommend you go about a centimetre back, get that bare metal, and the rest of it you can just do whatever you want, as long as it's flat. So that's good. Product I use was this from DeLorean Go. This is the best. This is the best stuff, and it's in black as well. You need some sort of black bond, but this literally is absolutely perfect for the job. And you can see here that I used about 3/4 of the tube to do that, so it's quite handy. You can also use the same stuff on here as well. So this one here I done was with silicone, clear silicone, a while back when it fell off or something, or no, that's what I had to adjust the door hinges. So yeah, put that on there back on as well. With that, I've got a bit left over. So what I'm going to do with the leftovers, I'm going to have a look once I take this off, close the doors with some silicone, spray on it, and then see if I need to do some additional sort of filling with the black, in the corners underneath here, for example, to make it sort of nice and firm and all that sort of stuff. Because obviously you can't leave this tube too long, because this tube here literally will go rock hard, in a few days' time. Cool, so that's good. Took a little while to cut out, so again I had to use a really sharp Stanley knife, a bit of sort of an old chopping board to be able to cut out, the gaps here, the gaps around here, the right sort of angles, so it looks good. I'm sort of pleased with all that. Just for your information, they come with, obviously there's 4 pieces that come from DeLorean Go, 2 longer pieces, 2 short pieces. All 4 pieces are slightly different size. They will just obviously cut roughly, but you obviously want the longer pieces on here, so on that side there, and there's 2 shorter pieces on this back section. And then when I put this on, when I did the first thing, I didn't actually put any tape on it, because when you sort of put it on gently, and then you start to sort of bed it in and press it and all that sort of stuff, it was going on really nicely. I was then able to use I then used specifically, because it's really messy when you start doing stuff with this black, it's messy as hell if you want a neat job. I was then using this to then sort of guide down and just sort of get the sealant absolutely mint, and then scraping it off onto face wipes, not face wipes, and just any old wipes basically, to get it absolutely spot on. Then what I found is, yesterday it was warm, it was about 20 odd degrees in this garage, and I found that it was all completely bonded fine round here. But this part here, I came back half an hour later, this whole section here on both sides had lifted off. So I don't know if it's because of the heat, dried it out, or the heat had heated up the rubber, randomly, and sort of, stretched the rubber slightly. The whole thing had peeled back. So that's what I did. Is I then put a quick line of additional sealant in there, and then obviously hence all these bits of tape here. So that was a kind of emergency situation to put that in. So I'd 100% recommend. And then I went around the car and put tape around everything, because I thought, well, I did put tape around here originally, but and this bit, but not that. So I thought, I'll put tape around all of it in case it does shrink or it's too warm and all this sort of stuff, because it was a warm day yesterday in the garage. So yeah, there's my tips. And this is the side I've just peeled off the glue. Excuse the state of the car, because I've been doing like the sills and removing paintwork and all this sort of stuff. So the car is disgusting, but I'm going to clean it ready for tomorrow. Yeah, that looks absolutely, I mean, I get this absolutely spot on. So yeah, it looks really, really nice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to spray some silicone on a cloth rather than directly onto a cloth, and then I can then close the doors, and then I'm going to leave the doors closed just during today whilst I'm doing some other stuff with the Subaru, and then that way then the seals should then also just sort of like bed in and shape in and stuff, you know, in the heat and all that sort of stuff. It might be completely spot on, but things like this corner here is always a worry, because I know the original piece went a little bit further in, you know, but that just looked really neat. So we'll see. Yeah, happy days. It's a good job. I hope that's some little minor little tips for you, and yeah, that is the product you want, the Wurth Bond and Seal. And so that's your little roll of quality Gorilla Tape, which is what you want for sticking on here. You can't use masking tape, or that just peels off, you know. Cool, nice one, cheers.